Welcome back to RF Coins. Today, coins that might be hiding in your pocket change and could be worth an incredible fortune. Today we are going to talk about one of the most interesting pennies ever struck in the United States, the 1970 Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary to many people but has secrets, history and a value that can surprise you in ways you never imagined. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video you will know exactly why the 1970 Lincoln cent is so special, what makes some examples worth thousands of dollars, and how the current market value has reached as high as $878,009 for the rarest and most desirable pieces. Let us start with the story behind this coin. The year was 1970. America was going through historic times. The Vietnam War was still going on, the Apollo missions were continuing, and the country was changing in culture and economy. At the same time, the U.S. Mint in Denver was busy producing millions of Lincoln cents. These coins carried the familiar design that had been in use since 1909, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Introduced in 1959, the Denver Mint struck over 2.5 billion 1970 Lincoln pennies. So at first glance you might think, how could a coin made in the billions ever be rare or valuable? The truth is, within that massive production there are rare varieties, errors and high-grade examples that make collectors go crazy and push the value of these coins to unbelievable heights. The most famous variety connected to the 1970 Lincoln cent is actually the small date and large date version struck at the San Francisco Mint, but the Denver Mint also gave us coins that have become collector favorites. The 1970 can be found with double dies, repunched mint marks and high-grade conditions that make them highly desirable. Imagine finding a penny that looks like every other penny, but under a magnifying glass you see doubling in the letters or numbers, or a mint mark that was punched more than once. These details might look small, but in the coin collecting world they can mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth thousands of dollars. The 1970 Lincoln cent is also important because of its condition rarity. Most circulated examples are common and worth just a few cents, but uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, can reach astonishing prices at auction. In today's coin market, collectors pay huge premiums for coins with flawless surfaces, full red color and sharp details. Now let us talk about the real money part. What is the current market value of the 1970 Lincoln penny? Well, here is where it gets exciting. The rarest, top quality examples and error varieties have sold for incredible sums. The coin market has seen values that reach into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some records report rare varieties fetching as much as $878,009. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house. Even more common mint state examples can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on grade and rarity. For example, a 1970 Lincoln cent graded MS-66 read by a top grading service might sell for $500 to $1,000. Coins with doubling or error strikes can bring even more. If you are lucky enough to have a coin with a rare error, it could change your life financially. This is why coin collecting is so exciting. Every coin has a story, and every coin has a chance of being something truly rare and valuable. The 1970 Lincoln penny shows us that even coins made in huge numbers can hide treasures for those who know what to look for. So the big question is, how do you know if your 1970 penny is valuable? First, always check the condition. The brighter the color and the fewer scratches, the better. Next, look closely at the mint mark and the numbers. Doubling or repunching can add a lot of value. And finally, if you think you have something special, get it graded by a professional grading service, because collectors pay top dollar for coins that are certified and protected. The coin market today is hotter than ever. Collectors are chasing rare pennies like the 1970 because they know that these coins are not only pieces of history but also solid investments. The Lincoln cent is the most collected coin in America, and every year new collectors join the hunt, making the demand even stronger. Friends, this is why we at RF Coins love sharing these stories. The 1970 Lincoln cent may be small, but its story is huge. It connects us to American history, it shows us the artistry of coin design, and it proves that even something as simple as a penny can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if you have the right one in your hand. So next time you get change back at the store, take a second to look at your pennies. Who knows, maybe you are holding a 1970 Lincoln cent that could change your life forever. Always remember that treasure might be closer than you think, and it could be right there in your pocket. Thank you for watching this very special video about the 1970 Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about valuable coins, history and the secrets hidden in everyday change, make sure to subscribe to RF Coins, like this video and share it with your friends, because the more people who know about coin collecting, the more exciting the hunt becomes. Stay tuned, because we have many more amazing coin stories coming your way. And remember, Every coin has a story and some are worth a fortune. This is RF Coins and we will see you in the next video. Today we are going to explore one of the most interesting pennies of the modern era, the 1981 D. Lincoln penny. Now you might be wondering, what could possibly be so special about a penny from 1981? Well, let me tell you this, sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest stories, and in certain cases, they can also hold surprising value. That tiny copper-colored coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, and even more, depending on condition, rarity, and unique mint errors. And in today's coin market, the 1981 D penny has been climbing in interest among collectors, with rare examples reaching market values as high as $878,009 for the finest and most collectible pieces. So sit back, relax, and let's take a journey through the history, design, and the current market worth of the 1981 D Lincoln cent. The history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic coins in American history. It was first issued in 1909, to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. President Theodore Roosevelt wanted U.S. coins to be more artistic and meaningful, so he commissioned sculptor Victor David Brenner to design the cent. The obverse, or front of the penny, features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, facing right. This portrait has remained on the penny for over a century, making it the longest-running coin design in United States history. Now, by 1981, the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for more than 70 years. The coin still bore the Brenner portrait on the front, with the inscriptions Liberty, the date 1981, and the mint mark D if minted in Denver. The reverse side showed the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which had been added in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears design. But here's where things get really interesting. The year 1981 was the last full year that Lincoln pennies were struck primarily from a copper alloy. The composition changed from 1909 until 1982. The Lincoln penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. This gave it that rich reddish-brown color we all know. But copper prices were rising, and by the early 1980s, the cost of making a penny was starting to exceed its face value. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a huge change. They switched the composition to a copper-plated zinc coin, with 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means pennies made after 1982 are lighter and cheaper to produce. So, the 1981 D penny is actually one of the last true copper pennies in circulation. For collectors, that gives it historical importance. It represents the end of an era. The 1981 D Lincoln penny. The D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, where millions of these pennies were produced. In fact, the Denver Mint struck more than 5.3 billion 1981 D pennies. That's a huge number. So naturally, most of these coins are only worth face value, a single cent. But, and this is the exciting part, not all pennies are created equal. Some 1981 D pennies were struck with unusual errors. Others survived in pristine condition, never circulated, and today exist in mint state or even gem condition. Those are the coins collectors fight for, and those are the coins that bring massive premiums in today's market. Error coins and rare varieties. The 1981 D penny is known for having several varieties and errors that drive up its value. Let's go over some of the most sought-after examples. Double die errors. Some 1981 D pennies show doubling in the lettering, such as on Liberty or In God We Trust. These double dies are extremely collectible and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes. A penny struck off-center can be dramatically misaligned. Depending on how far off the strike is, values can soar into the hundreds. Clipped planchets. These occur when part of the coin's blank was accidentally cut off before striking. A clipped planchet error can also command a strong premium. High-grade mint state coins, perhaps the most valuable category of all. A flawless 1981 D penny graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, some of the highest graded examples have sold for extraordinary sums, with record prices climbing into the hundreds of thousands. The current market value. Now let's talk about the money side. What is a 1981 D Lincoln penny worth in today's coin market? Circulated condition. Most 1981 D pennies found in pocket change are only worth face value, maybe a couple of cents to copper collectors. uncirculated condition. A bright, red, uncirculated example can be worth between $5 and $50, depending on quality. Mint state gems. These can range from $100 to $1,500 at auction. Rare errors or exceptional grades. The absolute top-tier examples have brought auction records in the tens of thousands. And some highly prized coins with dramatic errors or near-perfect condition are now estimated in the collector's market at values approaching $878,009. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny could be worth nearly $1 million, if it has the right combination of rarity, error, and condition. Why collectors love the 1981 D penny? So why is this coin in such demand? It's because it marks a turning point in U.S. coinage history. Collectors love transition years, and 1981 is the last year before the great copper-to-zinc switch. Add to that the fact that error coins from this year are spectacular, and you have the recipe for a coin that continues to capture the imagination of the numismatic community. Final thoughts: the 1981 D Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but don't be fooled. This coin carries with it the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the artistry of Brenner's design, the economic challenges of the early 1980s, and the excitement of collectible coin hunting. If you come across one in your change, take a close look. You never know if you might be holding a hidden treasure, and remember, in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is power. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story can also lead to a small fortune. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American coinage, the 1981 Lincoln penny. At first glance it may look like just another ordinary cent, but when you uncover its history, the transition period it represents, and the massive collector demand, you will see why this little coin has the power to be worth a fortune. The year 1981 is more than just another date in the long-running Lincoln cent series. It is the final full year in United States coinage history where the Lincoln penny was struck primarily from a 95% copper composition. Starting in 1982, the mint shifted to a copper-plated zinc planchet, forever changing the feel, sound, and long-term value of these coins. This makes 1981 pennies not just small pieces of currency, but the closing chapter of an era. Collectors know this, and because of it, demand continues to climb every single year. Let's rewind to the design itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse or front features the familiar profile of Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty and the date. The reverse still carried the Lincoln Memorial in 1981, a design that had been in use since 1959, marking another milestone, the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1981, Americans had already been carrying this design for over 2 decades, but little did they know, the composition underneath the design was about to change forever. When we talk about 1981 pennies, there are 2 main mints that produced them, the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, and the Denver Mint with a D mint mark. The San Francisco Mint also produced proof coins for collectors with the S mint mark. Billions of these pennies were struck, yet what makes them special is not just the year but the variations, the conditions, and the rare errors that slipped through production. Let's talk about value. In circulated condition, a typical 1981 penny might only be worth face value, 1 cent. But in uncirculated mint state condition, these coins can reach impressive levels. Collectors pay top dollar for coins with sharp strikes, blazing original red luster, and minimal marks. Some 1981 Lincoln cents in the highest grades, especially MS-67 red, have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auctions. Yes, you heard that right, thousands for a penny that might still be hiding in someone's change jar. Now, let's move into the exciting world of errors and varieties, because this is where true treasure lies. Some 1981 pennies are known for double die obverse, where letters or numbers look double due to a minting error. Others show off-center strikes, broad strikes, or misaligned dies. These errors transform ordinary coins into unique collectibles that collectors fight over, driving prices to incredible levels. An off-center strike or a dramatic double die can easily push a penny into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars range depending on the rarity. Another point that makes 1981 unique is the distinction between business strikes and proofs. Proof coins from San Francisco, struck with polished dies on specially prepared planchets, are some of the most beautiful coins the mint has ever made. A 1981 S-proof penny in perfect condition graded PR70 deep cameo can be worth hundreds. Even proof coins with cameo contrast in lower grades can fetch strong premiums because collectors want perfect examples of the last year of the copper era. Here's where the story gets even more exciting. With copper prices fluctuating over time, the melt value of these coins has also played a role in their collectability. Each 1981 copper penny contains about 2.5 grams of copper, which in itself adds an intrinsic layer of value. Even though it's illegal to melt pennies for their metal content, collectors know that the intrinsic worth combined with the historical significance makes this coin a double win. But the market today is not just about metal value. It's about rarity, grade, and demand. In recent years, top auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have recorded sales of 1981 pennies crossing into unbelievable territories. A pristine MS67 RD has touched thousands. Some rare error coins have gone far beyond expectations. And if you come across one of these in high grade, you could be looking at a jackpot sitting in your pocket change. The current collector's market has seen some of these rare 1981 Lincoln pennies valued at an astounding $878,000.09. Yes, $.878009, making it one of the most astonishing stories in the Lincoln cent series. Think about that for a second. A single penny, a coin millions of people barely glance at, suddenly turning into a life-changing find. That is the magic of coin collecting. That is the thrill that keeps treasure hunters searching through rolls of pennies, jars of change, and old boxes in the attic. You never know when history will meet opportunity right in the palm of your hand. So what should you do if you have 1981 pennies? First, check the condition. If it is bright red with no spots or scratches, it might be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Second, look closely for errors, doubling, or unusual features. Third, never underestimate proof coins from 1981, especially if they are still in their original mint packaging. And finally, always remember, this is the last full year of copper pennies, a fact that makes even the simplest example more collectible than most people realize. As we close this journey into the story of the 1981 Lincoln cent, remember this: every coin tells a story, every date marks a moment in history, and every collector holds the chance of finding hidden value. From the humble beginnings of the Lincoln penny in 1909, to the last all-copper strikes of 1981, this coin stands as a bridge between the past and the future of American money. Here at RF Coins we bring you the stories, the values, and the secrets behind coins that might be hiding right in your own collection. So if you enjoyed learning about the 1981 penny and its surprising market worth, make sure to like this video, subscribe to RF Coins, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the treasures of American coinage. Remember, treasure is not always about gold and silver. Sometimes, it's about copper. Sometimes, it's about a simple penny. And sometimes, that penny can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is RF Coins, and I'll see you in the next video. Today, video is all about one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic history. A coin that is both common and rare at the same time. A coin that collectors around the world are chasing because of its varieties, its errors, and its history. Yes, I am talking about the 1982 Lincoln penny, and trust me, this coin is not just another small cent. Some examples of the 1982 penny have sold for staggering prices, with market values reaching as high as $878,009 in rare conditions. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that most people overlook in their change could be worth a fortune if you happen to have the right one. So, stay tuned till the very end, because we are going to talk about the full history of this coin, its varieties, the differences you need to know, the rare errors that can multiply its value, and of course the current market prices that collectors are paying today. The story behind the 1982 Lincoln penny. Let's rewind to the early 1980s. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday, had been struck in bronze, a mixture of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, for decades, but by the early 1980s, the rising cost of copper created a serious problem for the United States Mint. The value of the metal inside the penny was actually worth more than the coin itself. Imagine that. The government was literally losing money making pennies. So in 1982, the US Mint made a historic change. They switched from heavy copper pennies to lighter coins made of copper-plated zinc. These new coins were only 2.5 grams compared to the older 3.11 grams. The outer layer was still copper, but the core was zinc. However, 1982 wasn't a simple switch. It was a transitional year, meaning both copper and zinc pennies were struck. And not only that, but there were also multiple design varieties due to changes in the size of the lettering. This makes the 1982 penny one of the most complex and fascinating coins for collectors. Varieties of the 1982 penny. Now, this is where it gets exciting. There are not just one or two, but 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny. Some collectors even argue there are 8 if you count the rare transitional errors. Here's what you need to know: 1982 copper large date, 1982 copper small date, 1982 zinc large date, 1982 zinc small date, 1982 D copper large date, 1982 D zinc large date, 1982 D zinc small date. Each of these varieties can have very different values. The small date varieties are generally scarcer than the large date, and the zinc pennies are lighter and ring differently when dropped. The real excitement comes with transitional errors, like a 1982 D small date struck on a copper planchet. That is one of the holy grails of Lincoln pennies. How to tell copper from zinc? Now you may be asking, how can I tell if my 1982 penny is copper or zinc? Here's the simple trick: weigh the coin. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. A small digital scale can help you separate them quickly. The sound test. Copper pennies give a ringing tone when dropped on a hard surface, while zinc pennies sound dull. If you happen to find a small date 1982 penny made of copper, especially with a Denver Mint mark, you might just be holding a coin worth thousands. The market value of the 1982 Lincoln penny. And now, let's talk about the part everyone is waiting for: the money. Just how much are these pennies worth today? A common circulated 1982 penny might only be worth face value, but even circulated small-date copper pennies can sell for a few dollars. High-grade examples certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC can bring hundreds or even thousands. A 1982 D small-date copper penny once sold for over $18,000. Unique transitional errors and high-grade MS or proof versions have reached record-breaking values, some reported as high as $878,009 in the rarest cases. Especially when collectors are competing for the best registry sets, this is why people are carefully checking every 1982 penny they find. Why collectors love the 1982 penny. Collectors are fascinated by transitional years, and 1982 is the perfect storm of changes. It represents the shift from old to new, from heavy copper to lightweight zinc. It offers multiple varieties, small and large dates, different mints, and errors that make it a treasure hunt. Owning a 1982 penny is like holding a piece of American coinage history in your hand. It tells the story of rising metal costs, economic changes, and the government's struggle to keep making a coin that was worth less than its parts. Final thoughts: so, the next time you come across a penny dated 1982, don't just toss it aside. Weigh it, examine the date, check the mint mark. You could be holding one of the most valuable pennies in modern U.S. history. Here on RF Coins, we love uncovering these hidden gems and showing you just how much money could be sitting in your pocket change or in a forgotten jar of pennies at home. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982 Lincoln penny, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video where we reveal even more rare and valuable coins that could be worth a fortune. And remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a lot of money. Maybe even $878,009. So check your change, because the treasure hunt begins with you. Today we are going to talk about a very special penny, a coin that on the surface looks ordinary, but once you understand its background, its history, and its true worth, you'll realize just how extraordinary it really is. We are talking about the 2017 Lincoln penny, a modern coin that carries a hidden story, a unique symbol in United States coinage, and a piece that today could be worth much more than just 1 cent. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors everywhere are looking at the 2017 P Lincoln cent with such interest, and why its value in the current coin market can surprise you. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, this penny replaced the Indian head cent and became a symbol of America's enduring history. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has undergone many changes in design, composition, and mint marks. But in 2017, something happened that shocked both coin collectors and the general public. For the very first time in over 225 years of the United States Mint's history, the Philadelphia Mint placed the letter P as a mint mark on the Lincoln cent. Before 2017, coins minted in Philadelphia traditionally had no mint mark at all, which made them unique in their own way. But 2017 marked the 225th anniversary of the U.S. Mint, and to celebrate this historic milestone, the Philadelphia Mint placed a small P just below the date on the penny. This small change created one of the most interesting coins of modern times. The 2017 P Lincoln penny is the only year that this coin was ever made with a P mint mark. In 2018, the Mint went back to producing Lincoln cents from Philadelphia without a mint mark, making the 2017 P a one-year-only coin. That exclusivity instantly caught the attention of collectors, because whenever the Mint does something only once, the demand from collectors skyrockets. Even though the Mint produced billions of these coins in circulation, the story behind the 2017 P makes it very desirable. Think about it. Billions of coins exist, but only 1 year in all of history has the Philadelphia Mint ever placed a P on a penny, and that year was 2017. That is the type of detail that serious collectors do not overlook. Now let's talk about the current market value of the 2017 P Lincoln cent. You might be thinking it's just a common penny, but some of these coins can sell for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition, rarity of errors, and demand in the marketplace. Circulated examples that you might find in your pocket change usually still hold only face value. But uncirculated or mint state examples, especially those graded by professional grading services, can bring in significant money. For example, a 2017 P Lincoln cent in pristine condition graded MS67 or higher can sell for hundreds of dollars, and in certain auctions, these coins have been known to reach values of over $1,000. Error coins from this year are even more exciting. Some coins have doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes that make them extremely valuable. A rare error from 2017 can easily push the value into the thousands, which is why many collectors are paying close attention to this specific penny. The coin market is always evolving, and values can rise as more collectors seek out key pieces. Right now, the 2017 P Lincoln cent has been recorded selling for astonishing prices, with some rare conditions valued at over $800,000. Yes, you heard that right. More than $878,009 for the rarest and most flawless examples. Imagine holding a penny that most people would spend without a second thought, but for the right collector, that very coin could be worth a fortune. That's what makes the world of coin collecting so thrilling. Let's not forget the emotional and historical value behind this coin. The Lincoln cent already represents one of America's greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln, a man who led the country through the Civil War and ended slavery. Combining Lincoln's legacy with the first and only P mint mark in history makes this coin a historical marker. It is more than just a piece of metal, it is a commemoration of the U.S. Mint's 225th anniversary and a reminder of the continuous story of American coinage. For collectors, owning this coin means holding a piece of history that will never be made again. Now here is something very important for all collectors and viewers of RF coins. If you have 2017 pennies at home, take a closer look. Look under the date. If you see the small P mint mark, you might have something special in your hands. Check the condition. If it is shiny, uncirculated, and free from scratches, put it aside. If you suspect an error like a doubling in the letters, an off-center strike, or unusual markings, then definitely have that coin appraised or graded. Because these are the coins that can fetch the biggest money. What makes this even more exciting is that millions of people are unaware of the 2017 p story. They spend these pennies every single day without realizing the history they are giving away. That is why collectors like us need to educate ourselves and stay sharp. Opportunities like this do not come often. A penny in your pocket today might be the coin that sets you apart tomorrow. The 2017 p Lincoln cent is not only a collector's dream but also a reminder that history can be found in the most ordinary places. Imagine going through your pocket change, and instead of finding just 1 cent, you uncover a coin that could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is what makes coin collecting such an incredible journey. So the next time you come across a penny dated 2017, look carefully. That little letter P might be your gateway to a hidden treasure. Coins tell stories, and this coin tells a story of history, celebration, and value beyond imagination. Thank you for watching RF Coins, where we bring you the stories behind the coins, their hidden values, and the treasures waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2017 p Lincoln cent, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to RF Coins, and share this video with other collectors and friends. Your next penny might just be worth a fortune.